everybody, this is Miss K and welcome to Miss K Going Postal. So I come to you guys today to have a discussion about what if you are let go due to lack of work. Yes, I know. A lot of y'all have this question. A lot of y'all ask me this in the comments, so we're going to go ahead and address it. Now, we're at this time of year that we call peak season, and so some of you guys are coming in as peak employees, hoping to get, saved so that you can work next year and throughout. Now, we have some people who actually worked before and they're bringing them back because peak season was over or due to lack of work or whatever. Now, in regards to being let go due to lack of work, this is how it works. Let's say you got hired, and we're not going to use peak season. We're going to use maybe your 360 MHA or your PSC. And they hired you, let's say in February, because we had a massive amount of work. We had so much overtime, so much ready to be done, and they brought you in with a group of other people to work. And you work, do it better, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked, y'all, and you working. So let's say you worked until June. And then one day they come to you and say, hey, we can't really keep you guys. We're going to let like 10 of y'all go. We don't have enough work for you guys to maintain. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to release you from your position. And you sit here with the sad look on your face. I can't believe this shit. But I know you, when you got hired, they should have told you, and they should have, that you are 360 or you are whatever, and that it's based on the amount of work and the flow of work and the hours of work that they have available for you to be in the building. Okay. So you cry 2 tears in the bucket and fuck it. And then you say, okay, whatever. But they say to you, if anything else comes available, we will call you back. And you go, oh, okay. But in your crazy ass mind, you thinking, well, is it going to be a week? Is it going to be 2 weeks? Is it going to be 3 weeks? Is it going to be 4? That's not how it works. This is how it works. So let's say they let you go, right? Due to lack of work. Now, remember, with the post office, there is a ratio of what they consider career employees or non-career employees. This is for both mail handlers and for clerks. So we have to have a certain amount of mail handlers to a certain amount of MHAs. This is how we determine how many MHAs we're going to keep. If we have X amount of mail handlers who are career and we have X amount of MHAs who are non-career, it has to be balanced out some type of way. So let's say the ratio is 70-30. 70% career, 30% non-career. With clerks, it's the same way. They have to have a certain amount of clerks who are career and a certain amount of clerks who are not non-career. And we'll use the same thing, a 70-30 ratio. Now, when they hire for peak season, or if they're hiring because we are, like with COVID, we hired extra people for COVID because there were people getting COVID, people who were getting sick. God forbid, we had some who died, they did. And we didn't have enough people to move the mail the way we needed. So they hired people, MHAs, they hired more clerks, to come in. Either you were 360, you were COVID relief, whatever they wanted to call you, you came in and you worked, right? So you thinking, hey, this shit good. I'm pulling 50, 60 hours a week and I'm out here banking until the day they tell you, bye-bye. See, bye-bye. You gotta go, bye-bye, right? They tell you to go. And they say, well, we're gonna call you back. Now, what happens is, because we have a lull in mail movement, people who are career and the non-career who are there, they don't need the excess amount of people and they let y'all go. Now, let's say something happens, and this is not peak season. This is just, let's say, August. And we've converted some people who are non-career to career. So now you're short non-career. So let's say now I have 70% career mail handlers, but I have 25% non-career mail handlers. I need to cover that 5% because based on the contract, which we still don't motherfucking got as mail handlers, we have to have a certain amount of ratio of career and non-career. At that moment, then they have to go and determine who are we going to call back to come back to work so we can go ahead and cover this 5%. Now, this is where the problem lies. And I think a lot of you guys get frustrated because you either work for the post office, either as you came in for peak or you came in for COVID relief or you came in as a 360 and they let you go due to lack of work. And you've been like, damn, they haven't called me back in like 6-7 months and I keep applying for different positions and they haven't called me. The reason is because, now the rule is, because you already work at the post office and you might have worked at that particular facility and they need to hire to go ahead and fill that non-career quota, it's not just you now, it's you guys who were already there need to be called back who are rehires, and then the people who apply. Now, the rule is that they pull from the rehires first. That is the rule. Now, do they stick to the rule? How the fuck do we work? Right? The post office, right? Come on. So the rule is I'm supposed to pull from the rehires before I pull from the new hires, right? So if I have 10 rehires and 20 new hires, but I only need to fill 5%, I'm supposed to pull from the rehires, not the new hires. It doesn't matter what their scores are. Does not matter. I'm pulling from you guys because you already work there. Now, the way they're supposed to pull you guys is based on seniority. Now, and then you're saying, Miss K, ain't no seniority because we non-career. You're right, sweetiekins. There is no seniority for non-career, but technically there is. When you went to go work at that particular facility, on the wall somewhere, either in the Hall of Shame, is what I call it, the main hall, where they may have the list of clerks, the list of mail handlers, the list of MHAs based on seniority. When you started working there, you've been there for months or whatever, you should be on that list of MHAs or PSEs based on seniority, based on how you came in, right? So let's say that you're on that list and you are number 6, but they need 7 people. Now, if they're pulling from the rehires, they're going to pull from the 7 people that is on that seniority list. Now, if there are some people who are already on that seniority list who were able to stay at that facility, so let's say 1 through 5, they made the cut to stay. So it doesn't matter anymore. So now we went to number 6. So they're number 1. And you are now number 2. That means when they pull for rehires and they need 10 people, you should be one of the ones they call back. Okay? Now, if for some reason they do not call you back, I'm going to say this. Maybe you had an evaluation. Maybe they determined that you weren't rehireable. I don't know. It may be something in your background. But you have to be labeled as not rehireable for them not to call you back. Doesn't matter if you burn the building down. If they did not put on your form when you got separated from the post office that you were not rehireable, they're supposed to call you back. Okay? Now, in regards to when you come back, you're probably wondering, am I starting my 90 days over again? Now, this is what I want to tell you. And I know you guys are hearing different stories because supervisors, management, either they don't know or they're lying because they want to run game on your ass. If you came in, let's say as a MHA, 360, whatever the hell they're doing now, and you worked and you actually made it to your 75th day, and then they say, hey, we'll have no more work, we have to let you go. You're supposed to stop right there on your 75th day. That's your last working day for the post office. And let's say 3 months from now, they call you back and say, hey, we want you to fucking come back. You're supposed to start your 76th day. Not your first day, your 76th day. Don't let these motherfuckers run game on your ass. You don't start your 90 days all over again. You start where you fucking left off. They will run game on y'all and tell you, when you start your 90 days up. No, you don't. No, you've only been gone less than about 3 months. So if you stop and it was 75 days and you come back 2.5, 3 months later, you start day number 76. That's the way it works. But remember, you're still going to be on that 90-day probationary period because you haven't passed it yet. Now, if you stayed and you were there 5, 6 months, and then they say, hey, we got to let you go, we'll have no work, and they let you go, and you come back, and they try to run the okie doke and say, oh, we got to do 90 days. No. No, boo, I don't. I was here 6 months. I passed that. Give them their hands and let them know. No, boo, boo. I don't start another whole 90 days. I've been here 6 months. Get out of here. And while you were there, if you passed your 90 days, you should have gotten your 30, 60, and 90-day review and a copy of it so that you can go ahead and have that. That will be on your file, and you should have a copy of it as well. Now, sometimes these slick motherfuckers ain't going to give you a review. You need to ask about it. If you've been there more than 30 days, you should say, hey, aren't I supposed to have a 30-day review? And then another them at 16 and another one on my 90th day? Like, where was it? I don't know. They play dumb, you play dumb. Now, that's how that works. So this also means this goes towards your benefits. So let's say like this. You've been there And as an MHA, and for clerks, because PSCs, they come in, they get insurance and stuff as well. They get theirs instantaneously when they sign up, when they become a PSC. They have options to their insurance. MHAs have options too. You have to sign up within your first 30 days that you're working. You can get insurance, right? Health insurance, vision, dental, whatever. Now, when you're terminated or when you're let go, because they put terminated, but it's not terminated in a bad way, so it's not a bad mark on your record. It just means they terminate you due to lack of work. So you're still in good standing. But remember, y'all, that insurance stops. That's done. So you have no more coverage. If you have sick time or annual leave, they're going to pay you out. So if, let's say, they terminated you due to lack of work and you had, let's say, 100 hours of sick. I seriously doubt you have that much, but if you do, and then you have 50 hours of annual, right? They have to pay out your sick and your annual. And I'm going to tell you why. Because even if you were still there and they didn't let you go due to lack of work, you still have your 1 year and then you have to do your review where you take your 5 days break and then you come back. They do the same thing. They pay out your time, they pay out your annual leave, and that's it. So they would do the same thing if they terminate you due to lack of work. Everything is paid out. So when you come back, and let's say they call you back, and I've seen in some cases, they could call you back in a month. You start with nothing. You don't have no sick, you don't have no annual leave, so don't think you come back and, I need to call out. No, And especially if you still haven't completed your 90-day probationary period. That's how that works. Now, in regards to if you are trying to get rehired for holiday help. Now, it's kind of tricky when it works to the holiday help and the rehires, right? So there's a set amount of workers that they want for the holiday season. And they usually bring them in waves. So like you have the first wave. The first wave should be coming up. I know in my facility this week. We get some this week. The second wave is right before Thanksgiving, right after. That is our second wave. And our very last wave is in December of holiday help that we get. And it depends. It could be 40 people, 30 people, 60. Just depends on how much that particular facility needs for the holiday season. Now, the way it's supposed to work, and I'm saying this again, but the motherfuckers, we ain't motherfucking bad, who can't hear what I'm saying, because y'all be acting like y'all deaf. They are supposed to offer peak season to the rehires. They're supposed to. Supposed to. It doesn't happen like that sometimes, but they're supposed to. So that means that we need, at a particular facility, I need 80 workers. I need 80 mail handlers across 3 tours, tours 1, 2, and 3. They're supposed to go to the rehire list. So if we let go of anybody that year due to lack of work, we're supposed to go to that rehire list first. And we're supposed to go down that rehire list and ask them or call them, hey, do you want to work peak season? And it's up to you. You say yes, you say no. Now, if I was you, and let's say you got let go due to lack of work, and they called you to come back for peak season, I would fucking say yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you know I always got a trick or tip up my sleeve to tell you motherfuckers, and I'm going to tell you that. If you come back as a rehire, and they called you, and you said yes, what happens is after the season, in January, when it's over with, the plant manager has discretion. Management has discretion to keep some of y'all. It depends on what the number is. They could keep 4, they could keep 5, they can keep 10, that they will hire, as long as it doesn't mess up the ratio. In some cases, my facility 1 year, they kept 2. They kept 2 people out of 100. 2 people. So if you are a rehire, you have a better chance of getting to stay there and becoming the 360 MHA or the PSC that's going to work that whole continuous year. Now remember, you still can't get let go due to lack of work, but you're still in that peak season time. So you're still guaranteed a good 5 or 6 months of straight working. And in a lot of cases, when you get pulled that way, they normally keep you and they're not going to let you go due to lack of work. We have to have some serious lack of work for them to just say, you got to go, right? Okay. Now, if they do that and you decide to stay, remember, they're still going to hire what they consider new hires from the outside who are applying for peak season. So the way it works is supposed to pull your rehires, you're supposed to pull your new hires even for the peak season. Peak season requires more bodies. So they don't have a problem pulling from both. Now, in most cases, sometimes they'll end up trying to contact some of these people to come back to work. And some of them say, hell, fuck no, I ain't coming back to the post office. I ain't feeling shit. I ain't coming back now. Or some of them just don't respond. Or some of them have actually gotten into the post office and they're somewhere else and they have a career in the post office. Maybe they became a regular somewhere or they're at another facility and they're like, oh, I'm good. I got a job. So they'll skip that person and go to the next one. Please remember, y'all, when they're making these decisions to call you guys back, to hire you guys, there is a list and there's a number of people. Just because you applied, baby, you could be 176, okay? And they only need 100. So if they need 100, they're not going to get to your number. But the problem is you're not going to know where you are in that hiring process because they're not going to give you that information. But that's how it works. There is a long list of people, a long list of applicants that they have to go through. And if they happen to get to you, hey, say, fuck yeah, and take it and go about your business. If you decide that ain't what you want to do, that's cool too. My tip for you guys is make sure that you keep applying for more than one place. Don't keep applying at the place that you worked at before. Don't do that. It's annoying. The problem is that because you got used to that place and you work there and you may know people there, you think, okay, I'm going to just keep applying it. No. If there's another location that's 20 minutes away or 30 minutes away or wherever it's at, and you can get to it, apply to that location. Because that location will probably pull you first. And I'm going to tell you why. Another tip. They've already seen that you work at the post office. They've seen you work at this particular facility. They may pull up your information and see that you have no blemishes on your record, that you are rehireable. And you work there for 6-7 months. They let you go due to lack of work. And they say, hey, Miss K, you want to come over here and work? If you want to work for the post office and get your fucking foot in the door, you're going to take that position. Number one rule, take the first position they give you. Just get your fucking foot in the door. That's all you have to do. Once you get your foot in the door, every fucking damn thing else is easy peasy, okay? All right, so just remember, for you guys who are concerned about being rehired due to lack of work, yes, sometimes it's a very long and arduous fucking process. The post office is not by no means swift or in a hurry to do any damn thing. They take fucking forever. So shit does take a long time. I know you guys either may have a job you don't really want to be in and it's paying you menial money, or you may not even have a job and you just waiting to go back because you've already worked there a couple months and you're waiting to be rehired. It's a process. But keep applying to other stuff. Keep applying to other positions. Keep applying to other locations that are in your area that you don't have a problem taking an hour or 35 minutes or 45 minutes drive to get to, besides a position at the other location you used to work at. Remember, if you're a rehire and you're waiting to get hired back, just keep checking your emails. Just keep checking. And trick, if you knew the person in human resources at that location you worked at, and you were cool with them, hey, Barbara, this Shirley, how you doing? That's what you need to do. Keep in contact so that you know what's going on. So at this time of year, I know you guys waiting. It's a pain in the ass. And I know some facilities aren't even hiring people. And that is another problem. So that's what I'm telling you. Apply at other places because other places may have a certain quota. Each location has a quota, especially at a plant where I work. We have a set amount of people that we're going to hire. Clerks and mail handlers that we're going to bring in for the peak season and that we're going to fucking let go. We don't want all these fuckers running around. They take up too much parking space. But anyway, so just be patient, guys. Don't worry, somebody will call you. But if you got separated due to a lack of work, I just gave out the rules to you guys. If you applied for peak season, that's even better. If they called you back, because in some cases they'll call you back without you even applying, because they should go down that rehire list and call the rehires first. Take that shit. Take it, because you might end up getting lucky and they might say, hey, I want to keep you after the holidays, and that'll work even better for you. Okay? So I hope I gave you guys some good tips and tricks. And always remember my postal freaks. Love and light.